So what we're going to be taking a look at today is how to sample fish using a seine hull. So here we have a diagram of what a seine hull looks like. So you can see on the top you got some nice floats, and so this keeps it above the water and keeps the net covering the whole water column. And it's got weights on the bottom, and so that keeps the bottom of the net as close to the bottom as possible. And you can see the part labeled the pocket or the purse, that's directly in the middle of the net where all the fish get corralled to. And so for this net, you pull it and you evenly pull on each end, having two people, or some people even use kayaks or boats depending on the size you're using. Ours is only 75 feet long, and so we just use people. And so as you're walking, you can just walk, and then you kind of walk in that U shape, and so the net makes a big U shape, and then all the fish get corralled towards that pocket in the purse, or pocket / purse, and so then all the fish can be collected out of there, and so you don't have to be checking the whole entire net for fish, because pretty much all of them will be right in that one spot. So here we have a video of us using the seine in action. So you can see how we're nice and spread out, and we're stretched out to about 75 feet wide. We're stretched out right now. But as we move in, we're going to be moving at a roughly even pace, because if you get uneven, that can cause the fish to get corralled off to the one side, and you want them all to get pushed towards the center. So you move at an even pace towards shore. Then as you're getting closer to shore, you want to be getting closer to your partner who's pulling the net with you. And you can see how those little red floaties are keeping the net completely vertical in the water column. And then once you get to shore, you're going to want to start pulling it in. So you pretty much want to bring the net as close to shore as you can. Then you start pulling it in, and when you pull it in, you want to make sure that the weights stay on the bottom, and you always want to make sure there's no gaps. So here's a nice little sped up video of us searching through our pocket where all the fish are collected. And so depending on what sort of research you're going to be doing, you're either going to be counting the fish if you're doing a total quantity. If you're looking for that, you're going to be counting the fish. But what we're looking for is mainly different speciation. So we're just going to be looking at different species. And so we're looking through it and seeing which species we want to collect and keep further. And we actually have a permit through the local DNR to collect fish out of the lake. So if you're going to be doing anything of the sort, you got to make sure you have a correct permit and are allowed to do it, because some of these fish don't really have a season and aren't really kept, and this netting isn't exactly something everyone's allowed to do. But since we are doing it for educational purposes, we are allowed to do it with the proper permits. So here's a nice video of some of our critters in action. And so the one you see there that's a little bit colorful, that's actually one of our darter species. That one just chow down is actually a darter. And so darters are pretty cool because they actually don't have swim bladders, and so that's why it's hanging out on the bottom. They actually can't hover like that perch you'd see in the background, or the other suckers we see swimming around. They can actually hover, unlike the darters. They cannot. We've got a couple more hanging out down here. We've got two darter species in here, but we'll talk about the differences. We've got two darter species in here. We got an Iowa darter and a Johnny darter hanging out. And if you see the ones that have the bright colors, those bright colors are their mating patterns. And so these ones are most likely males that are ready to mate. So here is a look at one of our darters in its nice lovely colors. As you can see, they got the blue and the orange. Then here's the look at that same type of darter without its colors. So you can see they have a bit of a different look when they're not in the mating season. And then this third picture is actually a different species. This is the Iowa darter, and the first two were both Johnny darters. And here is a look at one of the cool critters we found, which is called a mad tom, which looks similar to like a bullhead, but it is actually not a bullhead. They've got different fins, and here's a nice little under look. You can see his little barbicles. And here's probably the coolest thing we found is a burbot, or also known as an eelpout. So we got a real young juvenile eelpout, which I think is pretty dang cool.